Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Congresswoman Dina Titus of CD1 here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program Congresswoman Dina Titus of CD1. Pleasure to have you back.
Thank you, Sam. My pleasure.
So would it be correct for me to say that Nevada's worst nightmare occurred when the federal government starts laying down the law on what happens with the water from the Colorado River?
Well, that's one of our worst nightmares, that's for sure. You know, this negotiation of the states along the river has been going on for years. They keep kicking the deadline down the road because they can't come to an agreement. And what happens then is the federal government steps in and imposes something. Now, we haven't seen the final draft yet, but the word is that we're going to be cut 28%. Here in Nevada. We already have the lowest allocation, and it's really not fair because we've done the best when it comes to any of the states with conservation.
The other part that surprises me is that over the last year or two, we've seen deals cut with, for example, San Diego and their desalination plant for Nevada and Arizona. To be able to buy water rights from them, to be able to keep water in Lake Mead and in Arizona as well. We've seen the Metropolitan Water District cutting deals with the Southern Nevada Water Authority to help build systems over there that would help us. And so I've not heard anything like that coming from the upper states.
Well, you're exactly right. There seems to be a real prejudice. The 4 upper states are not being cut very much, we understand from this agreement. And also their compliance is voluntary. It's imposed on us. And so we're having to look other places for water. And you mentioned the San Diego desalination deal. I think we should move forward pursuing that.
Is there any talk that you're hearing of any other things like that going on? Because, you know, years ago, Pat Mulroy on this program, and I'm going back 20 odd years now, was talking about desalination plants not off the coast of California at that time because the California Coastal Commission wouldn't allow them. I don't know if the feeling has changed now because of what happened with San Diego, but there was talk of them being off the coast of northern Mexico and that we would be able to cut a similar deal.
I haven't heard any specifics on that, but I think we're going to have to be creative because I don't think conservation is going to allow us to absorb 28% cut. I mean, that is over a quarter of the water that we get. And think of the impact that's going to have on tourism, on any economic development, on any potential growth. And people who are talking about more land for development better take another look at that in the face of these kinds of draconian cuts.
Southern Nevada Water Authority has made it clear that they have been planning for cuts of this size for quite a while, and they feel that they can absorb this. I guess the problem would be if the federal government asked for even more.
Well, that's right. And I don't think they're going to be very effective at absorbing it. And in fact, they've been kind of backing off of that. The governor also has taken the position that we can't do that. I think it's really going to end up in court. And what the water district does is, it's being sued too for having put in place the higher fees for the bigger users and also cutting down or stopping all the use of grass, which killed 100,000 trees, and now they're trying to plant more trees. So they've got some challenges on that front. And what distresses me is when they talk about saving water and they make you cut back on usage, it's not like that water is being saved for the future. It's that water is just being used for some other new development.
Southern Nevada Water Authority purchased ranches in eastern Nevada years ago now. And even though the pipeline that was going to come from eastern Nevada down to southern Nevada was, in quotes, canceled, they never did sell those ranches. So they still own those ranches. They still own those water rights. There's been battles over Utah potentially taking... Yeah, well, yes, but also further north in the Snake River, they were talking about taking water from that underground, not reservoir, but the water that's... Yeah, the aquifer, thank you. And taking it and using it in Utah for growth over there. Do you see any possibility, especially with the cost, of actually there being a pipeline coming from eastern Nevada down to southern Nevada?
I don't see that as a first choice alternative. And now with water drought shortage all across the West, it's going to be harder to get water from Utah. They filed a lawsuit too. Those Baker folks got up in arms when you were going to take their water, and they were looking at the St. George usage of water, which is pretty, that's not very constrained at all, and trying to put some measures there in place for more conservation. It's all very controversial and getting worse so as the drought continues, global warming or climate change continues, and the river just keeps going down, down, down.
Yes, to say the least. Let's talk about data centers.
Oh, yeah.
Because, okay, I get your feeling right off the bat there. All right, so let's start out with your thoughts on data centers, because right now you and I are on a Zoom call, and that is being functioned by a data center. Our phones are data centers, Netflix is data centers, Prime and Amazon is data centers, email, you go through the list, and AI, which is either the second coming or the worst thing that ever happened, is going to use data centers. And it's billions and billions of dollars in revenue for whoever wants to take these data centers. But there's a lot of opposition, as you well know. Your thoughts on this?
Well, there is opposition, and that opposition is growing, and it's all across the country. But all data centers aren't the same. Switch down here has done it right. It's got its own cooling system. It's built out gradually. It's got local requirements that are in place. So it's not just that. It's, you've got to just have oversight, you got to have transparency, you've got to have rules in place about how much water, how much electricity, how much they have to provide themselves, all of that, because you're going to have data centers. As you say, it's everything from your watch to your pictures that are on the cloud. So that has to be accommodated. We don't want to stifle innovation and fall too far behind with China, but you've got to do them right, and that means transparency. My main concern is that when local governments don't want them in their backyard, it's the old NIMBY syndrome, and they're putting in place restrictions that you can't build a moratorium at all. Like I think Reno considered one, Henderson has one, Boulder City's looking at one, and all across the country, some states even. Then you know where they go? They go to public land. They bypass that whole process and go right to the federal government and put it on our public lands. And Trump has said that's fine. He loves data centers. And so you find BLM saying, okay, just put it there. And that totally bypasses any local control or any input from the public. And that's the problem.
All right. I can't disagree with your point there. But if Boulder City says that they don't want the data center and the federal land is available next door to Boulder City, is it inappropriate for them to build on that BLM land? And on the other side of that, what stunned me was that like within a week or two, Boulder City was talking about the need for revenue, and they would have gotten tremendous revenue from the data center if they'd approved it.
Well, I'm just saying, let me say it again, Sam. It's not appropriate to build on federal land when you bypass all of the public hearing and transparency issues and don't follow whatever local regulations a government wants to put in place. Boulder City needs to put some things in place to require that oversight and public input. But if they just go to federal land, then that won't be available. Second, just as you say, Boulder City won't get the property tax revenue that would come from building that on federal land. And add to that, insult to injury, the state provides tax abatements to build these facilities. So you're not only not getting the revenue, you're giving them a break to go and build on federal land. I think the legislature needs to look at that.
And do what?
I'll leave it up to them to decide, but frankly, I don't think the state ought to give tax abatements to something that's built on federal land that doesn't give anything back, really.
Is there a situation that you could envision where if the regulations were put in place for, say, across the state for cities and counties, that they would be I don't want to say forced, but I guess I mean that, to be able to accommodate data centers, because that way, A, you wouldn't be building on federal land, B, those revenues, and you miss sales taxes every 3 to 5 years. Those data centers are going to spend millions, if not billions, on replacing all that equipment. If you fit the regulations, shouldn't they be allowed to build?
Well, yes, if they follow the regulations, that's what I'm saying. Listen to me, Sam. All data centers aren't the same, but you have to have in place certain regulations and certain transparency. You want it can only use so much water, has to provide their own power, has to meet certain accommodations to the surrounding environment. You want to do all that, then you can build a data center, and then it's up to the local government to decide and to get the revenue if there's revenue generated. So, I think you just have to do it right, and bypassing all of that and putting it on public land, I think that's kind of cheating the public, because they are certainly not all that keen on the data centers going in and forcing their power bills up and taking their water, and who knows what the heat's doing to the environment. And if you don't have those public hearings, you won't ever know, and they'll just go in on public land.
All right, so let's move into another segment that's connected to this. You're talking about power. Brad Kroll, son of Bob Kroll, was on the program a few months ago. He's now he's on the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. And he was talking about how these data centers, the huge ones, are going to need SMRs, small modular reactors, that they'll be on site, that they have been used by the military for decades and have been proven safe. Nuclear aircraft carriers, nuclear submarines, never been an incident. And that the waste from those reactors would be kept on site until such time as there was something that could be done with them. Your thoughts on that? Because you have been the most anti-Yucca Mountain person since Richard Bryan.
That's correct, and I still am. And I was delighted when we just got the ruling that Yucca Mountain is no longer the place that they're looking. They're opening this up for other places, and 5 states have expressed some interest. So we'll hopefully see Yucca Mountain finally dead, but you can't ever take your eye off of it. That scares the punk out of me. You say there hadn't been an accident, but who knows? They start slapping up these little mini nuclear power plants to run these data centers, and who's going to regulate those? Also, what you're going to do with the waste, that keeping it on site. Let's tell Boulder City that when they put that data center out there in the middle, out there in your neighborhood, they're going to also not just put a data center, they're going to put a nuclear power plant. Now, how do you think people are going to feel about that?
Well, the question is, do we get to a point where we accept that nuclear power is actually the cleanest form of energy?
Well, certainly Donald Trump is pushing more nuclear investment because I imagine he sees that as another source of revenue that he can tap into. It depends on how you measure it. Nuclear power may be safer on some parameters, but an accident is certainly much more devastating than with using other forms of energy.
Microsoft wants to restart the 3rd tower at 3 Mile Island. Do you have a problem with that?
Well, until you solve the waste problem, I have difficulty supporting increasing production because, even if we have now stopped Yucca Mountain and opened up 5 other states, it's going to take a while to build those facilities in those 5 other states, meeting state requirements. They're going to have to go through some public polling, public input hearings. Let's see if people really want them after they hear about what the consequences might be. Then you got to build them to environmental standards. So until you get that resolved, I would be opposed to opening up another tower.
Okay, so one last point on this. If you don't go with these small modular reactors, then you're talking about natural gas and the problems that are connected with natural gas, because as you said at the beginning, these data centers are needed.
Well, there's problems with every source, but you got to balance the pros and the cons. And why couldn't these data centers are just big flat warehouses? Why don't you put solar panels on top of them and look at that as an option?
All right, that's where we have to leave it for this segment. We will be right back with Congresswoman Dina Titus after this time out.
At Nevada Urban Indians in Reno, your health is our priority. Our medical clinic welcomes everyone. We accept all insurances, ensuring quality care is within reach. Nevada Urban Indians, your partners in health.
This piano's in tune because I take care of it. Neglect it, and nothing sounds right. That's our economy. Congress neglects us while lining their pockets, self-dealing, insider trading, while you do more with less. One good job used to buy a home, fill your tank, raise a family. Not anymore. I'm Marty O'Donnell. I approve this message because it's time to get Congress back in tune.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
This summer, all roads lead to Tamarack Casino for trucks or bucks. Win up to $5,000 in cash every week. Buckle up and win a brand new Tundra or up to $45,000 in cash. Shift the winning and your good times into high gear at Tamarack Casino.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Congresswoman Dina Titus of CD1. I was wondering what your thoughts were on Dean Heller working for Calci as an advisor.
Well, I have come out very strongly on Calci, not as an institution or as a business, but as its side of sports betting. And so it may work out that having a friend, and I think of Dean Heller as a friend, we worked together for a long time, embedded there with the company might give us some access to have influence over how they're doing that, what they call sports contracts, not sports betting.
I'm waiting for the debate between Chris Christie and Dean Heller.
Well, we've talked to him as well, so I know he's on the side of the AGA against this sports betting by prediction markets. So that would be interesting. There are two other members of the House, though, that they've hired as well, a Democrat and a Republican. One is Sean Patrick Maloney is the Democrat, and McHenry is the Republican, who are lobbying this. So it's a full court press by the prediction markets to be sure that they can keep this sports betting side of things.
Okay, so in the end, do you see this as still being a state's issue, or do you see the federal government, as they are with the water, trying to take over the regulation of this industry?
Well, I see it like you said, Sam. I think it is the federal government. The agency that's been assigned to regulate this is not a gaming regulator. It's a futures regulator, like agriculture futures. And so they really don't have the staff or the expertise to regulate gaming. Gaming's always been done at the state level by the state regulators and the tribes. But don't forget, Trump's sons are on the board of Calci and some of the one of the other prediction markets. He's said that he thinks it should be a federal issue, and that agency has been very aggressive about it, filed a lot of lawsuits, and that's where it's been being played out right now in the courts. Some go our way, some go the other way. It'll probably ultimately be resolved at the Supreme Court. But I absolutely think it should be regulated at the state level.
Okay, the prediction markets as well as gaming.
Well, the prediction market part that deals with sports betting.
Okay. All right. We'll take another quick break, and we'll be right back with Congresswoman Dina Titus after this.
Carson Valley Inn, it's your place for the good times. Carson Valley Inn.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. Our community is our foundation. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Aaron Ford says he was a teacher.
I taught middle school math.
Here's some math.
Ford took over 420 days of vacation
while we showed up for work.
That's more than a year of paid vacation.
While he was jetting off to Paris,
Martha's Vineyard, and Cabo,
we were here.
We were here.
We were here teaching.
You know who else was here?
Joe Lombardo. For kids, families, and teachers.
He shows up every time.
And teachers are going to show up for Joe Lombardo every time.
2025 is bringing big changes for Nevada businesses. If you have more than 5 employees and have been operating for 3 years or more, you must now comply with new state retirement plan mandates. The Vegas Chamber 401k plan makes it easy, offering a proven, customizable, and cost-effective plan for employers and employees to save with tax advantages. Visit vegaschamber.com to explore options and see how the Vegas Chamber can help you start saving for your future.
We're the Peters family, 2 combat veterans, our daughter Elle, and our Liberty Dogs puppy in training, Cooper. Cooper will grow up to be a life-changing companion to a veteran with visible or invisible challenges.
We're helping Cooper build focus and confidence so he's ready to support his veteran.
And we know he will help bring happiness and independence to his veteran's life.
So join us, become a puppy raiser, and change lives, one puppy at a time.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Congresswoman Dina Titus of CD1. The military budget, I mean, they're looking for $1.5 trillion in the next go-around. There's a lot of concern, obviously, about that amount of money, but on the other side, Nevada could benefit strongly with Nellis and Fallon and Creech. What are your thoughts on that in our remaining time?
Well, it's unfortunate because I do support those investments in Nevada bases. I do support the increased salary for members of service, but I don't support continuing this war in Iran that we don't know where it's going. One day we're negotiating, the next day we're firing rockets. So I'd have to take a hard look at all the details. And the Republicans typically put some poison pills in there too. We'll wait and see what's in there in the final version.
All right, and that's where we have to leave it for today. I will look forward to seeing you in D.C. in September.
You're always welcome, Sam. Thanks.
Thank you, and we'll be right back.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Welcome to the Ahern Hotel, where bold ambition meets unforgettable experiences. Feel your game day vibes and celebrate with great food at All American Sports Kitchen, serving amazing flavors and fan favorites. Sip and savor at Aroma Barista Bar. Handcrafted coffee roasted to perfection. Step into the Ahern Live showroom, where concerts, comedy, and unforgettable performances light up the night. We also have the David Yule Art Gallery. It's the only one in the world, and his work is breathtaking. Browse the gift shop. It's a treasure trove of keepsakes, chic essentials, and one-of-a-kind finds. And the space. Almost 30,000 square feet of meetings and events areas ready for you. From weddings and birthdays to quinceañeras, trade shows, banquets, and beauty pageants. Bigger ideas? Let the Ahern team handle all the details so your event is flawless. Ahern Hotel, where moments become memories. Book your next gathering today.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers. If you want to be on our mailing list, go to the website, NevadaNewsmakers.com, and sign up. You'll get the guest list in advance every Friday, and on Mondays, a whole list of our new archive shows going back to 2003. We'll see you on the next broadcast.